How AI is reinventing the modern brokerage isn't about adding more software. It's about creating a better experience for your agents. Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash. I'm your host, Rajeev Sajja. In this episode, I sit down with Tyler Morton, broker owner of Remax Victory and Affiliates, to discuss how he built Tory OS, an AI-powered operating system that brings together agent support, training, recruiting, communication, and brokerage resources into one seamless platform. We also explore how AI is changing the way agents work, why reducing friction matters more than adding features, and what the AI-powered brokerage of the future could look like. If you're looking for a practical idea to help you and your agents save time, simplify technology, and stay ahead of what's coming next, you'll enjoy this conversation. Let's dig in with Tyler. Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, episode 135, and hopefully people are having a great summer. We have a great guest for you today. We have Tyler Morton, broker owner from Beaver Creek, Ohio, with Remax Victory and Affiliates. And what I enjoy about getting Tyler on the podcast, and we've been sort of connected back and forth, and he's a practicing agent support broker owner, as well as he got tired of brokerage tech stacks not being embraced, and he leveraged AI to build something fun that I'm sure we'll get into. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So I gave you like an elevator pitch introduction. So I'd love for you to sort of walk us through, you've been in real estate for 20 plus years. How did you get into real estate and bring us to today?
Got into real estate back in 2004. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I got back from Ohio State after a couple semesters there, and went and sold cars and decided that wasn't for me after going through about 6 managers in 3 months. Made great money as a young adult, too much money to be honest, but wanted something that I could do long-term and kind of make my own hours. So I had gone to a real estate seminar with my dad, who was looking for a retirement job, and I ended up being the one getting my license. So story kind of wrote itself from there. I practiced real estate for about 3 years and did really well, but ended up opening a brokerage and bought my franchise in 2006 and opened in 2007. So here we are.
Oh, wow. And so Remax Victory and Affiliates, how many agents, how many offices? Talk through that.
Yeah, just under 200 agents. And we are tri-state. So we are Dayton, basically central Ohio to central Kentucky and the southeast corner of Indiana.
Oh, okay. And how many offices?
I've got 4 offices in Ohio, 1 in Indiana, and 3 in Kentucky.
Wow. Okay. All right. So a pretty decent size for operations, agent support, and all of those things. So prior to my current role at Bright MLS, I was with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services in the greater Philadelphia area, doing marketing tech. And then, with AI in 2022, it just sort of, my career sort of went, you could say, took off in a way, or next level. And I can only imagine. So what I love about getting into this discussion with you is you know what's happening on the ground and you support agents from an AI perspective. Again, we'll focus on AI a little bit. And then you know their pain points, and that sort of gets into the Troy OS. Or is it Tory OS or Troy OS?
Tory
OS. Okay. So before we get there, what was your big, I usually ask our guests first light bulb moment, but over time we've had several. So what was your big light bulb moment in AI?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a light bulb moment. If we're talking AI, I don't know if it's a light bulb moment or I just sat there and stared at a blank wall moment. Because when it first launched, I have a very good friend who ran a tech company, sold it for a lot of money, and he was the one that first kind of told me when ChatGPT launched, hey, this is something you need to look into. And I sat there and we discussed it back and forth for countless hours. And I remember just sitting there going, we haven't even begun to understand the impact this is going to have on not just real estate, but every piece of what we do, like every piece of life. And so I think that was hey, I need to spend a lot more time on this than I have. I've always been into technology. Going back a little bit, when we first started our company in 2007, opened the doors, we didn't have 10 staff people and 10,000 square feet. It was me and my mom sitting at the front desk, and had to learn how to systemize and utilize technology back then to streamline what we did and make it easy for agents. So yeah, I don't know if there was a light bulb moment, but definitely a blank stare at the wall moment, which just led to a lot of research, a lot of I love to break things, so
Yeah.
uh, a lot of trial and error and finding out what it was capable of and what it wasn't, and certainly that's progressed over the last 3 to 4 years.
I tell sometimes, my light bulb moments have led to rabbit hole moments also.
Yes.
Like you spend so much time, and what did I do? I just sort of learned something that doesn't work. But on the other side, you sort of learn something that does work, that sort of changes your workflow and things of that nature. I'm sure we'll get into. So you support 200 agents across a few offices. So let's first talk agents leveraging AI. What are you seeing with your agents? And then we'll go into, frustration with brokerage tech stacks and what made you think of Tory OS and what you kind of how you went about building that. And are you natively a tech person? Like, you give me your education, like, because this is important for people listening, because
Yeah.
today everybody's a builder, right? Anybody can build. So give your background as well, Tyler.
Yeah,
Prior.
no formal education on technology. Started, I think I bought my first computer after mowing lawns for a couple summers when I was 12 and started building computers and just, nerd at
Yeah.
heart. So
How much was
nothing.
your first computer cost you? Like,
I think it was $1,600,
oh wow,
and that didn't include. I think I had saved up for like 2 years,
I
and I think
know.
my parents ended up, because I didn't calculate the shipping cost. They ended up paying the money for the shipping.
Yeah, I'm dating myself. Mine was 4 grand.
Wow.
And this is again, I came to the U.S. from India like 1990, and I went for masters at Villanova. And then once I graduated, that was my first. When I got a real job, I was able to afford a real computer, and that was like an arm and a leg,
Yeah.
right? And that was like probably Intel 8086 or something, like literally, where Intel Inside was a thing,
Oh yeah.
right? Yeah. So let's talk agents. I mean, what are your tried and true use cases that you find agents really embracing AI beyond the table stakes stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the table stakes stuff is the go-to for most agents, right? They're
Yeah.
writing listing descriptions, they're having to help them with their social media. Where I really try to dig in and educate agents on what it's actually capable of is further research. We like to do training that's a little bit outside the box, and print media is not dead by any means. So one of my favorites that we've done is showing agents how you can actually import a list of, let's say, 5,000 past solds over the last 5 years in a certain neighborhood or city. You can import that into AI and have it build you out an entire workflow for farming those areas, showing you where the biggest opportunities are, showing you agent penetration in any of those markets, and basically showing you here's your best use case for marketing to that farm. So that's taking it a step further. Most agents, though, are, like you said, using it for the basics, and now they're starting to toy with, or over the last year, have started using it for more AI photo editing, which can be a problem,
Yeah.
video editing, etc. So it's exciting to see where it's going and where it's already been, but I
Yeah,
don't
for
think we've even
sure.
begun to scratch the surface.
I mean, at the time of this recording, this week, ChatGPT launched. It's sort of, I mean, I think they're all building a super app that you
Yeah.
basically talk to and it sort of goes where you need it to go, kind of do things. And Claude sort of, I think, started that journey with Cowork,
Hmm.
and people that want to geek out can do Claude Code. Um, and now, like, even ChatGPT used to have Codex as a separate app.
Right.
And most people, because they hear the word Codex and they think it's for coders.
Nope.
And I think they're sort of now merged Codex into ChatGPT, and it is basically has that engine. And the
Yeah, I can
interface has
reason.
changed as of this morning. Like, I mean, ChatGPT app on my Mac has
Right.
changed. The web is sort of similar still with more extra buttons. The other thing, I don't know, Tyler, if you've played. So we'll get into your tried and true Tyler's AI tech stack. I'm sure. I mean,
Sure.
that's a question I'd love to get into. But I just recently noticed ChatGPT finances on the left,
Hmm.
and then health is coming. And for most people, I mean, to track your finances, unless you pay for like an app like Mint or some of those apps you pay for,
Right.
it's still all over the place, right? In terms of tracking stuff. And I didn't connect everything, but I connected like 3 or 4 things to finance. And it goes through a security company that everybody's familiar with. So it's not like they can access anything or write anything, actually. They can access and give you conversational stuff. And one of the things I put in there, Tyler, was like, I have a bunch of mutual funds, like across my 401k, blah, blah. And I simply asked it, am I like overloaded on certain things that are duplicative? Like literally asking that question. And it literally outlined everything I needed to like update. And if I were to change the pivot, here's some things that you're like really overloaded on AI on this. And it's the same thing there. So Intel is at your fingertips, right?
Right.
And that's, I think you're going to that, like they're doing the basic table stake stuff, but thinking of AI as your sparring partner and actually digging into that and thinking of it as amplified intelligence, not like outsourced intelligence, and
Right.
being in there, I think is where they're all headed, and we're just trying to get sort of caught up to it. Are you seeing the same thing with your personal use of AI?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I think is going to be a major shift is agent use of CRMs. I mean,
Yeah.
I've
Oh
been
yeah.
a big CRM user for a long time, but I was Follow Up Boss user number one. So it's certainly come a long way, but do you need a CRM in the next 5 years? If Claude's connected to your email, has a history of all of your conversations,
Yeah.
can reference and make suggestions based on communication history, and then have other analytics input into that as well,
Yeah.
it's going to act and be your AI assistant that knows more client intelligence than you do.
Yeah. And client and to your point, I mean, today you can have scheduled tasks
Right.
already. And so you every morning when you wake up, you can have it send you 3 people you should talk to based on your conversational styles and things like that. And I think connectors and Claude sort of matured in that area, and others are obviously catching up. We just are in testing with our MLS where I work with MCP access to our subscribers.
Yeah.
Right. Like I was, I asked all the 3 LLMs, and this is a fun thing to do for any agent listening. What is the list to sale price ratio in 2026 in my neighborhood?
Right.
And gave some detail. Same question for all 3. They were in the ballpark, but all 3, if I read all 3, I'm more confused than when I originally started. But the point is, if it was connected to a single source of truth of the data, then the answer would have been very consistent across
Right.
all 3. And that's really, I think, where you need to use trusted intelligence. You talked about MLS data, creating certain things. The more easy we can make that as a broker, as an MLS, anyone that agent touches, I'm big into reducing friction.
Right.
And I think AI reduces friction. And that sort of tees me up into your next topic of maybe Tory OS. Or is there a couple other use cases you want to kind of touch on from an agent perspective before we go to the pain point of the brokerages?
No, I think those, I mean, there's certainly a lot of pain points in an agent's business. And it's, I think the fear for a lot of people has been, do I need to learn something new? Or do I need
Yeah.
to even download a new app? Like
Yeah.
that, it's amazing to me that that's a pain point for some people, is downloading a new app. But I also know that, kind of transitioning into the brokerage thing, a lot of my trainings were, hey, you've got to know your username and password before you even show up. Otherwise, we're going to
100%.
spend the first 15 minutes of any of our trainings going through that. But
Yeah,
no,
I think the bar may be low with many. I mean, agents are amazing human connectors, successful agents.
yeah,
But most of us are, at least I'm talking about the agents, are average at technology at best.
yeah,
But I think we can come to the point that at the time of this airing this in August, that if you should be able to download an app. That should not scare you.
right,
And the second part is, I believe AI will literally drive adoption of the right stuff through the roof, because voice to text, and if you can just talk to your AI to do stuff, I think that's the mode we're in. Like I might use Whisperflow. I don't know about
Yep.
you, but I use Whisperflow all the time.
all the time.
Right. So if you can just talk, and every agent can talk, you should be able to get stuff done. And you're a great example. You're not a technologist, but you've done technology things. And we're going to get into that. So So talk about running a brokerage and tech stacks, software people don't use, and how did you solve that problem that sort of painted the vision for Tory OS?
Yeah, so I tech stack wise, I started using ChatGPT first. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
did, but I've since transitioned over to Claude. Probably 3 months ago, exported 3.3 gigs of communication history over the past 3 years,
yeah,
and import that in. And I think what's amazing is that you can now use Claude or Perplexity's comment browser. There's a bunch of different options,
yeah,
but I think that's where the transition is going to happen for agents. Is over the past 10 years, agents have had to learn a ton of new technology. They've had to become video stars and social media producers. And so all of these different things have transitioned and kind of created this new brand of or new cohort of real estate agents that are younger and more tech savvy. But no longer is that the case for agents that want to run Facebook ads or Google AdWords, because I can have it in my browser, do all of those things without me knowing how to do it. I
yeah,
just tell it what I needed to know, what I need it to know. As far as our brokerage goes, I wanted to streamline. I actually made a mistake to start with, and that was I was trying to streamline communication and solve a problem for me, because I have agents that are calling, texting, emailing, sending me DMs, you name it, carrier pigeons. That's how they're communicating.
yeah,
And so I sought to create an AI agent for our agents to be able to ask questions to, because
yeah,
I am on the phone, I am in meetings, traveling between offices, etc. And so I created Victoria, which was kind of 1.0 of Tory OS, and um, it it did really well. It answered all those questions. I didn't want the legal liability of it answering broker questions or legal
yeah,
questions on my behalf, but we created a routing system where it would, if it was a marketing question, go to Abby in my office, or if it was a broker question, go to me. But it had my knowledge base. It had Ohio Revised Code. It had all of our documents. It had everything, and
yeah.
agents could ask that. But the
Yeah, like
adoption was,
policy stuff, things that are table stakes stuff. Yeah.
what's the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, those kind of questions it was easily able to answer, but the adoption was very, very low because it was just another app that they had to download.
Yeah.
And so I remember doing a demo for another broker, because we do have a pilot running. We've got 40 plus brokers and 2,000, 2 to 3,000 agents using it nationwide. But we were running a, I was doing a demo for a broker back in November, and I remember he asked what my adoption rate was within my own brokerage, and I said, honestly, it's not the best. And I said, maybe that's on me, but it's not the best. And so I took a step back and looked at our entire tech stack and
Yeah.
everything that I used, and realized none of this is cohesive. We used to have a communication platform through Facebook Workplace, which was
Yeah.
fantastic. And then Facebook discontinued that. So we moved to another
Yeah.
platform, didn't get the same adoption, didn't get the same engagement. And then I still had all these tools that were duct taped together. So I had a Wix site for a list of links, and I had a Dropbox for logos, and I had a calendar booking software that cost me $10 per conference room per month per location. And so I was like, I think I can just start rebuilding all of this. And that's what I did. I started vibe coding it through, I initially started with Replit, then Bolt, then Lovable,
Yeah.
and started building. And one feature after another, it became kind of the central hub for our agents. And when they saw what we were building and the tools that we had available to them in there, it became second nature, because instead of them asking a question of what plumber should I use in Greene County, um, that would be a question they would normally have to go to a separate app. But they're asking their peers the same thing, and now Victoria is in line, responding like Grok does.
Yeah.
And so just making it this natural progression for agents and making their lives easier, became kind of the goal.
So, question in terms of how you obviously have a disconnected tech stack in many ways, right? And then you want to simplify their life with Tory OS.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any technology you sort of just sunsetted and got rid of as a result of what you're building here? Is that part of the plan where you're headed?
Yeah, I mean, we were able to get rid of our intranet. We were able to get rid of the conference room booking software. We were able to get rid of our recruiting software because now we have agent intelligence built in that not only is for recruiting, but for retention. We're doing
Yeah.
co-op agent feedback. We are putting all of our logos in one place. We're putting, just making it really easy and accessible for agents to live in one ecosystem. And we're not replacing, I don't want to replace their CRM because
Yeah.
you know what my thoughts are on CRMs. I don't want to replace Canva,
Yeah.
but I want it to be easy for when my marketing director publishes a new Canva template, they
Yeah.
hit
Find it.
customize with AI and it's done.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've done is made it easier and more accessible for them without thinking about, what do I need to do next?
Yeah. So where does Tory OS, what are you hearing in terms of, obviously you've integrated, I think the big thing that if I can summarize your learnings, the first time you did it, it was like on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Now you brought it into the agent's daily workflow, taken over the intranet, which is, I think intranets are going to go through a massive reinvention. Like,
Yes.
I think people are going to start to realize this is a way I could wipe code your way to it. And if you're listening to this, somebody at your broker, if you're in a brokerage, somebody at your brokerage can do this. You as an agent should probably just send them this link to this episode, send them Tory OS, whatever it is, to say, can we kind of reimagine our experience to drive more adoption and remove friction? I think that's the conversation you need to have. And if you're a team leader, you're leading a team, I think there's never been a moment in history where someone can actually redo an experience than we're living right now.
No.
Right? Like, I mean, it is where we are. And you could, if you're a team of 15, 20 people, you hear your frustration, build your team OS, right? Like you could build your team OS. So I think that those are the key takeaways for me. Anything that I missed there, Tyler, from your learnings, high level?
No, I think that's perfect. It's definitely one of those things that there's no limit to the imagination of what it's possible of. I mean, within a few months, we had a working version of, opening up Tory and writing an offer via voice.
Yeah.
And so, giving agents those kind of tools where they could say, write an offer for 123 Main Street, purchase price is 500,000, close it in 3 weeks. That's an easy use case for AI. But I think when you're dreaming about bigger and better and where it's headed, it's going to be, I wear a bee bracelet, which is fantastic for recording and documenting my day.
Yeah.
But when an agent gets into the car and wants to write that offer, they still have to click a button. It's still reactive. And so I think AI, much like we talked about with Claude reading your emails daily, it's going to be more instantaneous for sure, but it's also going to be proactive. And so instead of an agent clicking that button to write the offer with their voice, it's going to capture your conversation, know that you're talking with your clients across from the kitchen island, and that their conversational intent was that they want to write an offer. And so it will proactively draft you an offer. Yeah. That's where we're headed.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like, I know what you did during the day, and let me kind of take a step without you telling me to do it. Yeah. Get it to you and offer you a silver platter, right? Like just approve or disapprove kind of thing.
Right.
For sure. So before we get to some of the final questions I have, I'm curious about, so if I'm an agent at Remax Victory, I have access to Tory OS as my intranet, literally intranet, everybody logs in very regularly because you've sort of driven value there. As I ask questions to this, let's say there's no, are you tracking how many questions it's answering and how many it sort of strikes out on? And how do you sort of look at this strikeout and how do you sort of move your product? Just talk through about evolution of Tory OS.
Yeah, so it started with just the ability to answer. And if it couldn't answer, just like any AI, it told you it couldn't answer. And then we built in the functionality for it to notify me if it was less than 50% confident in any of its responses.
Yeah.
And so then I can jump in and it learns from my response. Anytime that I'm doing a live training, which I can do through the platform, it is now ingesting all of that, transcribing it. And so if an agent asks what was Tuesday's training about, it knows. But more than that, it knows how I would respond based on scenarios that I've given during trainings.
Yeah.
So it's that ecosystem and that brain is only growing through content. And that's what's exciting is, remembering what I taught 2 years ago is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
But now it can reference that and pair it with something I did more recently and probably have a better idea than I even have. And
Yeah.
so that's what I'm excited for.
I think the organizations that are going to move ahead in the AI world, I firmly believe that. I would love to hear your take on it. Is those that are learning organizations. And when I say learning, it's like the learning loop. Now, like up until AI, there was human capital.
Right.
That's very important. Still in human in the loop, like your mind and all the institutional knowledge you have. Like I call it human capital. Then we have AI, and I call it token capital. Like right, so you're teaching AI. So humans teach AI. AI teaches humans. It's that learning loop that I believe if you kind of maximize that, because some people, if you don't embrace AI, you only have human capital. Valuable, but not as valuable if you don't combine it with token capital, right? And we say token is AI capital, but
Yeah.
I don't want to get techie. But those two combined, I think the more you can feed one to the other and you get better over time, I think that's the moat for most people, most organizations. And if you can get there, it looks like you're starting that journey, like taking a training and feeding it in there, or learning from AI what it does well, like confidence scores. So one of the things we're doing with the MCP, like at Bright, is you can run it as you're walking into a property or some customer asks you. Our mission is to help agents win at the kitchen table with data,
Mm-hmm.
right? And consumers are already using AI, good or bad.
Right.
And if they ask you a question, you don't want to ask AI that question. You want to ask trusted data that question, so it actually you can put your name on it. And so that's we believe we can give agents that access, so they can run comp analysis. Like a friend calls you and says, "Do a comp analysis on this," and it's sort of so the MCP gives them a comp analysis and gives them a confidence score. Low, high, medium, and why high? Because I got 14 comps similar, and here are the comps, and draws a chart, all with just talking to it. Run comp analysis on 123 Main Street,
Yeah.
versus having to jump into MLS, kind of do all of the stuff that we need to do, which is friction. Look, it is friction. I know agents are creatures of habit, but it is friction. So that make the more simplification we can do and learn from it, what works well, what doesn't work well, constantly be learning. Maybe the Microsoft CEO said it a while ago. I don't know who it was, but they said now we're more we don't want to be know-it-all. We want to be learn-it-all. And then when you have that mentality built and that culture, it looks like you've done that with Tory OS in many ways, right? So congratulations.
Thank you. No, I remember having if you remember when Google Glass came out.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, talk about a product that was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But I remember I really wanted to make a promo video when that came out of how that could help agents. Imagine they get out of their car, it shows everything that they know about that property, or everything that AI knows about that property. You look around and augmented reality shows you all the comps and what recently sold. You walk up to the lockbox, and this is before we had electronic lockboxes, but it would give you the combination, or click the button and it automatically connects. And then you're walking through the house and it's telling you exactly when things were updated. Like, that's the future of how this all kind of pairs together and makes the life of an agent easier, but is not a replacement for having a human conversation with the client across from the table and discerning that information or paring it down so that the client understands it.
Yeah. So on episode 100, I had Steve Brown. He used to work at Google DeepMind. He's an AI futurist. He's done some keynotes. And he said, look, I mean, we have Meta glasses today, Google glasses coming up, whatever. But you can see a world where an agent wears those glasses and walks in and it's just taking all the pictures you need to take. You come back to the car, it shows it on your, virtual dashboard in many ways. And you literally select the pictures and click a button, and it just goes to the MLS. I think that's the kind of friction removal you're talking about. And, look, if you're innovative, we're going to be hitting technology that's way too early for its time. Like you mentioned Google Glass, but now I can fully see that happening,
Oh
right?
yeah.
We're at
I
that
mean,
moment now.
you can do that now to some extent. I mean, in a
Yeah,
lot of my trainings, I'll show me talking to Grok on the way to a showing and asking it everything about the property, and it's pulling up the fact that there was an insurance claim on the property, and it's pulling up that there was an HOA dispute over a pool permit, and it's like, what? Like how? I couldn't find that if I just Googled it.
yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, well said. So before I get to my final two questions, I want to ask you this because I'm curious about Tyler's tried and true tech stack for AI. You talked about Claude because different strokes for different things. So I mean, I've narrowed it down to like 3 to 4. Like Whisperflow is in there, like Granola for meeting notes for me. Like literally, there's like 3, 4 things. What is your tried and true tech stack that not the experimentation one? Give me
Yeah,
your ones that agents that want to embrace it can start.
tried and true. My B bracelet by far is one of my favorites. $49, no subscription. I use Apple Notes all the time. I recommend anyone going to a conference open up their notes and just hitting the record button because it's going to be able to transcribe that. Then you can throw it into AI later.
Yeah,
I still use ChatGPT for quick reference. It's got 3 years of history, so
yeah,
Claude for more automations. I use Perplexity if I'm looking for more context oriented, or hey, I need updated information on a specific topic that this needs to go search the web for. I use the comment browser by Perplexity for automations.
yeah.
Like agents can use that now to input a listing into the MLS. I know you probably hate hearing that, but it's true.
Most MLSs allow it, so
Yeah.
check with the rules. But yeah,
And then, yeah, using Claude in the browser through CoWork has been a life changer.
yeah. And if you look at all of those things, I'm going to add up. This is the beauty of the moment we live in. And wherever you are, if you're like early, start small. Maybe pick 1 or 2 things that Tyler's talking about. So if you look at Whisperflow as an example, I'm assuming you use paid version of Whisperflow.
I do.
Okay, so that's like 14, $15. I'm going to round it off, $15.
Yeah.
Then you have your bracelet. How much is the subscription for that?
No subscription, just $49 one-time fee.
Nothing like free. Okay, almost free. Okay, so 15 there, and then ChatGPT paid version.
ChatGPT, I do the $20 version and then the $200 version of Claude.
Claude. Okay, so that's now. If you're listening to this, you started the 20 version of Claude 2. I mean, you feel like you're pushing its limits, and it says come back in 4 hours. Probably need to upgrade. Okay, so right, so 20, 20, 15, and then Perplexity is you're using the free version.
No, I do use the paid $20 on that.
Okay, that's another 20. So in my mind, I rounded off to $100 a month for your life to be an AI fluent agent and taking your business to the next level and really delegating things to AI so you can actually automate the ordinary so you can personalize the extraordinary, which are human relationships. So, I think that's my key takeaway. Obviously, Tory OS is a big takeaway from automating things for brokerage at a brokerage level. But so let me get to the final 2 questions, Tyler. I ask all my guests. So you've been in real estate 22 years. So you've seen. Do you still practice buying and selling, or you sort of refer it out?
I run a team. I work with really close friends and family, but
Okay.
otherwise everything goes to them.
So you still have your pulse on the. Obviously, you help coach people also. So what is the one piece of advice you'd give people that are listening or watching the show that they should implement, no matter how long they've been in the business? That's been.
I think you kind of touched on it earlier, and that's talk to AI every day.
Yeah.
As dumb as that sounds, spend 10 minutes, and I guarantee if you don't know what to ask it what you should be asking.
Yeah.
Give it. And I ran through this with my kid the other day. He's 15, and he was asking me, "What is Tory?" And so I was like, I got really excited, and I was like, "Hold on, I want you to ask AI this question." So I sat him down in front of the laptop and said, "What would you ask?" And it was, "What is Tory OS?" And I was like, no. It doesn't know anything about you or why you're asking that. So you really have to get to the why. It's all the questions: who, what, where, when, why.
Yeah.
But you've got to get to that to give the information to AI in order for it to understand the context of why you're asking that question, where you're located, because he then changed his prompt to, my dad's a real estate broker.
Yeah.
And I said, well, where's he located? And, we went through this whole exercise, and it was really fun. But
Yeah.
I think you start thinking in a different mindset and a different manner of how AI operates, so that you can anticipate those objections or the incorrect information that you're going to get. And so when you change the way that you think, I think it unlocks new possibilities for what you can accomplish with it.
Yeah, for sure. Well said. The final question is, are you a book or a podcast person?
I'm a podcast person.
Podcast. Okay. So give me your one podcast that's probably been deeply influential in terms of shaping your thinking, that you look forward to every week, regular, month, whatever, that agents listening should bookmark and listen to.
Oh gosh, yours is a fantastic one. I can't go without saying that.
You can mention ours because you're on it. Like, that's a given.
Yep.
Give me something outside ours.
No, I would say it's probably not even a podcast. It's two YouTube channels.
Okay, yeah, go for
it. Nate, if you look up AI with Nate on YouTube, fantastic channel. He has a Substack. And then Matt Wolf, which is another AI guy. So both of those two are my real go-tos. I watch every single week, or in Nate's case, I read his Substack every day. I read Rob Hahn's stuff regularly. Yeah. So those are the three that I would say I get information from, and I think helps tremendously.
Yeah, we all have our trusted sources over time. They evolve, obviously. You listen to new stuff also, but you look forward to certain people.
Yeah.
And AI with Nate, Matt Wolf, and obviously industry stuff with Rob Hahn. That's good. Very good recommendations. Tyler, this has been fun. I'm glad we could pull this off. And if I ever get to Dayton on that day and we can meet up, I'd love to look you up and have a bite to eat. But thank you for your time. Appreciate you, and have a great day.
Thanks so much for having me.
If you found value in the show, follow it so you're notified every Wednesday when new episodes drop. Share it with someone in the industry you care for, and leave us a review, as it helps us reach more real estate professionals like you.